Oh yeah, this Prince coming at you live and in living color on Hip Hop Weekly.
Hey guys, what's up? It's KimSoMajor with Hip Hop Weekly magazine, and I have the pleasure to be sitting next to the man, icon, musical legend, living legend, actually, self-made entrepreneur and mogul, Mr. James Prince.
Oh yeah, how you doing?
Doing great. It's an honor to actually sit and talk with you. You've changed so many people's lives. In the industry and even outside of the industry as well. So we're here today celebrating you and also talking about your new book that you have, The Art and Science of Respect.
Yeah. No, I'm excited about that. The art and science of respect, and also being on this great campus of TSU and the hospitality that they have shown me today, the fun that I've had, on Prince Day. So let's get it on.
Congratulations on all your accomplishments. And just going into the book, I read it. I was able to get a copy of this over this weekend, and that was my homework all weekend. A lot of your early days really resonated with me, and the way you grew up and your struggle. And I noticed you have so many, quotes and things that you value that actually you said at one point that the streets were help you, self-taught you into a man, but your dad actually taught you how to be a leader and give you that discipline. Just speaking to all the kids that are out there who are coming from broken homes and feel like, they don't see anything but what there is in their immediate surroundings, what piece of word or advice could you tell them right now, as an example of what you went through to keep going?
Well, you don't have to become a victim of the society or the community that you grew up in. I stand as a testimony that shouldn't be enough to hold you down, but it's important to feed your mind, to feed your spirit with things that's bigger than the bondages in the hood. You know what I mean? I stated earlier that readers are leaders, so it's important to read, whereas one may not have a vehicle or have access to the luxury to go on vacations or travel outside of the hood. You can travel through reading. Reading is a vehicle that you can sit right in the hood and be on planet Mars. You know what I mean? Just reading good literature. So, add that to your resume. It's important to read in different things. And from there, you want to align yourself with people of light. Association bring about similarity. So if you hang with a fool, then you're gonna become a fool. Ain't no way around it. So try to associate and hang with people of light, which simply mean those are positive people, people that are sin free. Yeah.
Well, we're not, nobody's sin free, but God forgives, and we definitely get the gist of your closeness, your spirituality. You speak about that a lot in the book and things that have you go to God, especially the part in the closet. Could you just talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, that was a part of my life where I made a transition from the streets to corporate America. And all of my life I've been a praying man. Everything I've done, everything I wanted to accomplish, I prayed for it. And one of my prayers in the midst of the things that I was doing in the street is, God, before you take my freedom or take my life, give me a sign. And he answered that prayer for me. He had gave me many a signs, but this particular one, he convicted me, convicted my heart and grabbed my attention and say, nah, this is the one you really, you know what I mean? you ignore this when you got some problems ahead of you. And I became obedient with that particular one, and I understood that it was bigger things in life to accomplish than to be chasing them short-term goals. I didn't want to ball for 2, 3, 4 years, and it cost me a life sentence or something like that. So these are decisions that brothers have to make today that's in bondage, and make them fast, because snap of the finger, one wrong decision can cost you your life.
Right, and we see it a lot. I get a lot of questions, even with Hip Hop Weekly. We have a huge following inside the penitentiary system, and with laws changing and people getting out and going back, a lot of times they are overlooked, and we know you to actually employ a lot of those people. Like I said, you change lives outside of, inside actually artists, but outside with your staff. How important is it for people to have these second and third and fourth and fifth chances?
Well, it depends on the person that you ask. This society, America, really, I think America is a place that doesn't feel that you should have a second or third chance. But, I choose to differ where that's concerned, because, as you just stated, none of us are without sin. And with that being said, if we all had to pay a price for sin, then we wouldn't be able to handle it. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I understand to be forgiven, you have to forgive. And I think people deserve second chances, third chances, as long as they mean right. You know what I mean? As long as they have a made-up mind and they want to do right. That's some of the things I embrace, people like that, and I end up building #1 record label for years with ex-convicts, with ex-dope addicts, with people who America say don't deserve a second chance. We was able to unite with them along with educated people in one office and built an empire together.
That's right. Rapalot Records, the founder and CEO of Rapalot. Your roster is amazing. You've made a lot of money with your deals that you were able to negotiate in those early days. My question is, today's current state of hip hop, if you could go back to reintroduce or bring someone out from the early Rapalot days, how would you approach it now?
Well, I mean, it's only one way to approach it. That's through social media. I would definitely use that to the best of my ability, and it would be much easier for me, because all the powers that be, I would have access to all of these people with all these followings on Instagram to be able to get my messages across. It would be no problem. I give you an example. I had to self-publish my book today. This is like one of my first projects in this era that, I had to come out and, kind of do on my own. And, to be able to do this without, the major publishers is like, verification that I still know how to get it done. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And it's even sweeter the way you can do it now. And so, I'm a adjuster. I know how to adjust to my environment. I always knew how to adjust, and ain't nothing changed.
Right. You spoke about, you just mentioned following, and in your book also, I remember you speaking about just knowing who. I think you gave an analogy of the shepherd and the sheep. Yeah. Okay, so just knowing, who your followers are, because all followers are not good followers. So how would you attack that in the social media realm today?
Well, you have to do a process of elimination in order to know who your followers are. And one thing about the Instagram thing, when I look at the breakdowns of the statistics on the age groups that follow this, the different, they break everything down from the time to the age to from A to Z. So when you have access to that kind of information, it's easy to plug in your socket where it's needed to get that group of people you after.
Right. Business entrepreneur right here speaking facts. You got to utilize your information, right? So just talking about Rapalot and your artist and your deals currently, do you have what's on the roster right now?
Well, one of the things that we're doing right now, my son jprince with the Rapalot New Wave, is we partners with the group all YBN, Amir, YBN, Almighty J, and Corday. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't know, but we in there with them. So that's a new movement that's taking place that we're excited about, and along with our involvement with Drake still as well. So we embrace opportunity as it presents itself.
Okay. Now, just speaking on that a little bit deeper, is it basically distribution deals? Is it publishing with Namir and Jay? Are you management, or are you actually housing artists on your label?
No, we're a record company owners. We own masters and content. We partners, real partners.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's a 50-50 deal.
Well, I didn't say that, but I know that's what you was after.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying you're not right.
Yeah.
But understand that my mentality is real strong when it comes to just ownership, period.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not in a position where it's a production deal.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So if they come along to Rapalot, you got to let them know.
Well, you got to know a lot of things when you come along to Rapalot. But, yeah, be inspired by the mind frame of the different principles that Rapalot have lived before you, because just buying the book and reading about the different methods and the blueprints and formulas that I use to accomplish the things that I did in Rapalot would be a driving source of one having a head start and such a major advantage of accomplishing success in life, period, all of life, corporate and just plain, raw, uncut living.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And back then, it was always like West Coast, East Coast, Texas. That was one of the things that you always wanted, was the Southern sound to be taken seriously. Yeah. So how do you feel today with Southern music just running the nation?
Oh, I feel vindicated. You know what I mean? I'm loving it. And I'm loving it because, I always told the East Coast, y'all a piece of bread. The West Coast, y'all a piece of bread. And down south, we the meat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They didn't like it, but that's just the way it is. Because when they really do their homework, they'll find out that their grandmothers and different ancestors from the south anyway. So that's the way that is. So we got the game in a headlock, and don't look like they taking the pressure off the headlock at all.
Can you talk a little bit about when Chad Pimp C came on the label, and a little bit of that story, what was behind it?
Yeah. Well, Pimp C had went to jail. He had caught a case, and he went to jail. And Bun B was left out here without a way of making a living because he was in the group UGK. And, Bun wanted to make a living while Pimp was in jail. Jive Records felt like Bun B should wait till Pimp get out to eat. Mm-hmm. Imagine that. You know what I mean? This man need to eat, you know, why Pimp in jail, he couldn't eat none of the penitentiary food. So he wanted to eat while he was in jail. And he came to me, and I was able to strike a situation and create what I call a bonfire that eventually convinced Jive Records to allow me to do a Bun B solo album and a Pimp C solo album, and also made me a partner of the future UGK albums. That was a pretty good deal, right?
You're very good.
Yeah.
I wanted to hear it out of your own mouth. Now, just speaking about, you mentioned Drake earlier. He did your foreword, and a lot of people, everyone knows that your son Jazz found him on MySpace and brought him home to you. Now, if he was to put out a book, what would you say in his foreword?
Oh, and Drake forward?
Yeah.
I would have to think about that, but it would be something juicy.
What impressed you about him?
About Drake? When I first met him. Okay, that's a good question. Well, when I first heard him, I didn't really like what I heard. You know what I mean? I didn't like the music. But that goes to show that my ears wasn't as good as Jazz ears was, because my son, he could hear it all along, and I couldn't hear it. You know what I mean? Just like when I listened to this last album, Shalimar knew the hit songs on the album before I knew them. You know what I mean? I didn't realize Kiki was gonna be a hit, but Shalimar knew Kiki was gonna be a hit before, you know what I mean, it registered to me. So sometimes that's the way life goes, and you have to accept that, you know, some people can hear better than you. So that was the case where Drake was concerned. Now, what impressed me about Drake is his work ethic. You know, he hit the ground running. You know what I mean? He didn't deviate from none of the competition that was on the buses, even though a lot of them was looking out the side of their eyes at him, you know, because he was the new guy. You know how it is when you the new guy that just come on the bus, and there been people on the bus that feel like they better than you and they was there before you. So you have to go through all of that, and he didn't bend. You know what I mean? He done what he had to do, and you know, the cream always rise to the top. So they still mad.
Last question that I have for you. My question was, you recited a conversation that you had with Larry Hoover in the book, and he said, real gangsters go to the polls. How important is it for Texans to come out this midterm election and vote?
Well, I think a real gangster is just like he say, somebody that go to the poll. So that's my that's my definition of a real gangster, and I think it's very important for all of Texans to come out and vote, you know, for this and moving forward. You know, me and my friend, you know, Anthony Price, was having this conversation last week of the importance in igniting a movement where we was concerned on his birthday. So this been like a powerful spirit that's moving along in our circle already. So for you to bring it up, it was the right question to ask. And you know, it's very important. And you know, Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee even showed up and voiced her opinion and the importance of voting as well. So that's something we gonna have to awaken all the sleeping giants that hadn't been voting to. We're gonna ignite a whole new movement to stimulate them to vote with us.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Mr. Prince. It's been an honor talking with you. Do you have any last words, or when can I get a quote from you? Because just the wisdom and the gems you drop is, you know, priceless. So let's leave our readers with one last word.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Prince coming at you live and in living color. Chilling with my homegirl, KimSoMajor. She really is major. Let's do it, Kim.